Today's daf is Maseches Nedarim, daf Chaf Aleph. So we're at a new parak. We just finished parak Ve'elu Nedarim, and now we're up to the parak Arba'a Nedarim. 4 Nedarim. So this Mishnah, this new parak, the Mishnah is going to discuss the Nedarim that are said in a regular, with you said in the full correct wording, whatever you're supposed to use to make a neder. However, still it's not going to be chal, it's not going to go into effect the neder for the reasons that we will see. The 4 nedarim that the Chacham matter by itself without hatara. What are they? Nidrei zeruzin. If someone makes a neder in order to try to push his friend that he should do something, but his kavanah was not really to make a neder. V'nidrei havai. If somebody makes a neder on something that's an exaggeration, and he was not mechaven to the whatever word he said, he just used words that people use the way people exaggerate. Nidrei shkagos, nedarim that he made a mistake when he made an neder and he was a shogig. Nidrei einsin, and nedarim that he made and he could not be mekayim the neder because he was an einus. Those are the 4 different categories. So now the Gemara is going to explain. The Mishnah is going to explain. Nidrei zeruzin. What is nidrei zeruzin? Ketzad hayamoicher chayfetz. If he sold an object to his friend, v'amar koinim sheini peiches l'chai. The seller told the buyer that the money of this sale should be asar on me like a carbon if I give you any sort of discount. She'eni peiches l'cha min hasela. If I don't give you more than I won't give you more discount than a seller. The halo aimer, and the buyer says, lekech says, kainim she'eni meisav l'cha ala shekel. Says the money, this mekach, this object, will be asar on me if I give you more than a shekel, which is 2 dinarim. So in this case, they only made these nedarim because they were trying to push one another. One that he shouldn't. One was trying to say he won't give him more than X amount of discount, and then the buyer was saying I'm not going to overpay by X amount. So therefore, it's going to be mutter, because their intention was not to the lashonis that they use. It was just to try to each one of them to push whatever agenda they were going at. Shekel shneim reitzim b'shloisha dinarim. So they both want with 3 dinarim, which is more than what the lekech said he would do. Although you made neder, but the whole neder was only Lazar's ba'am, was only to push each other. And so the Gemara, Arba nedarim mitir chacham v'chulu. Amar Rabban bar Mambal Rabami. Rabban Mambal told Rabami, Amar Tlon meshmei Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya. You told us in the name of Yehuda Nesiya, or it was told us in the name of Yehuda Nesiya. Man Tana Arba nedarim. Who is the Tana learned this Mishnah of 4 nedarim? So the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda, it is Rabbi Yehuda, the Amar Rishon Rabbi Tarfon. He said in the name of Rabbi Tarfon. What is the case? The case is from Maseches Nazir, Daf Yomi Daf and Beis. It's talking about that 2 people they were walking on a way, and somebody came from the opposite direction, one person, and these 2 people, one of them told the other one, I'm going to be a nazir if it's this and this person. And the other person said, I will be a Nazir, if it's not that person. And then there's one person that was coming from the opposite direction. So he said, I will be a Nazir if one of these two people are a Nazir. Or he said, I will be a Nazir, assuming that both of you are Nazirim, or I'll be a Nazir if none of you are Nazirim. So the halacha is, La'olam einechem em Nazir. None of them are Nazir. None of them become a Nazir. Even the one that it ends up being, let's say he was right, that he said the guy's name was Chaim and his name was Chaim. So that's what Reb Tarfon says. So Dr. Yehuda, you know why? Lafish le'nitin naziris ela lahafla. The din, the naziris is chal, was only said b'lashon hafla, meaning that you have to clarify and say clearly when you become on naziris without any tanai, with any sort of condition. So Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya holds that this that the Mishnah says that will matter these four Nedarim that the Mishnah listed, these Nidrei Zeruzin, is because by Nidrei Zeruzin technically there's there's a Tanai, because the Meicher is asked, the seller is asking the money if he says I give it away at more of X and X discount. So technically it's like making a Tanai and a Neder. I'm saying this is going to be asked to me if you say the if, that's like making a condition. So he's saying that the Mishnah is going with this Shita of Reb Tarfon. That's what we didn't see is saying. However, the Chacham that hold that you do not need to have a flaw, there's no din flaw by Naziris. So the neder is going to be chal, even if it's done al Tanai, and even the Nidrei Zeruzin would be chal, not like the Mishnah. So that's what Rabbi Mamal said. Rava says a different pshat. Afilu tema Rabbana. You could even see that the Mishnah is going like the Rabbanon that argue in Tarfon, and they hold that the Naziris is netel lahafla. You could make Naziris b'hafla. But Zakt Rava Miktani Shnei, and rather than say that they both wanted to make the deal with two dinarim, which would be mashba that mitchila, and originally they did not want it. Shnei and Roitzin. It doesn't say Shnei and Ratzu, that they only wanted at the end. It says Shnei and Roitzin, meaning that what? That even originally they both agreed on that. And so why they make a neder if they agreed on that in the beginning? The whole neder was only that they should push each other, should try to persuade the other person. But it wasn't, they never had intended to really make a neder. That's what Rav is saying. That's Rav's connection. Amar Ravina Rav Ashi. Ravina told Rav Ashi, Amar Loi Tfei Misela. If the Meicher told the Lekeach that Hosan the object, but a little bit more than a Sela, which is a Sela is 4 dinarim, so a little bit more than a Sela is 5 dinarim. And he said if it's going to be less than that, he's going to ask her the money from the sale on himself, the Meicher. V'hala Amar, and the Lekech told him, Batzir Mishekel, which is less than a shekel, which is 1 dinar. And if it's going to be more, then he's going to ask her on himself, says the Lekech. So Nidra Havi, or Zeruzin Havi. So in this case, since the difference between the will of the Lekech and the will of the Meicher is a lot, so Ravina is clearing that maybe that's not considered Nidrei Zeruzin. Maybe that's considered a neder with a condition. Maybe that is considered regular neder. Because when do you say that it's Nidrei Zeruzin? If one says 4 dinner and one says 5, so it's pretty close to trying to push each other around. But if one says Batzim Shekel, which is 1 dinner, and one says 5 dinner, and that's too big of a difference to say that, they were trying to push each other, because they're never going to meet in the middle if there's such a big difference in between what the Lekech is saying and what the Meicher is saying. So Amar Lei, Rav Ashi told Ravina Tanina. We learned this exact case in a Mishnah later on. Samchim Beis. What does it says? What does it say? It says Hayim Mesarav B'Chaver Sheyachel Atzleif. He was trying to push his friend to eat by him, and his friend didn't want. V'Amar Loi, and he made another, and he told him Kaina Beis Chashani Nechnas. And not only does his friend not want, his friend told him, your house is going to be usher to me like a carbon if I go into that. And he added on to that, he said, Tipa Soinan Shani Toyim. And he said that he's asering, he added another, he said he's asering even a little bit of cold on himself, anything he takes from him, I guess a little drink, cold drink, that he's going to taste, even a little taste, he was asking himself. Allah is mutal kind of basis, allowed to go into his house. The Lishman is allowed to drink something called why? Because this kavanah, this guy who's trying to invite to his house, was only mechaben l'achila shtia, meaning to sit down for a meal, eat and drink, but not stop to go into his house and have a tiny taste of water. It's not what he's mechaben to. So Rav Ashi continues on and says, "Ba'amai, why is a mutter about tipas seinen kamer?" The guy said tipas seinen, so isn't he not allowed to be toyim even tipas seinen? Elo mishtoyin ishachi. You see from this, Rav Ashi is muchach from this that this is a normal way of people talking, and although it's far fetched, we don't think that a guy is gonna we don't think that a guy is going to ask on himself so little, such a little thing like a drop of water. Still, we say the net is nachal because we say his own zeros. He's only trying to get himself off the hook and didn't want to go eat by his friends. So hachanam is like the one. So too, when one in the lekech says he's not going to overpay him more than a dinner, and the seller, the meicher, says 5 dinner, he's not going to give him more than 5 dinner discount, then mishtayin nishachi. This is how people speak, and we say their intentions are not anything more than just being bizarre as each other, and therefore it's not an eder. So Amalei, Ravina is going to be doicha this raya from the Gemara later on, from the case of Sar b'chreshi yachal atzlai. Why? Because midami. How can you compare the two cases? Gabi tzoinin, by the case of tzoinin, the reason why the net is not chal, you could say tzadikim oim atvais and harbe, because the guy that was the Muslim, the guy that was getting invited to the host's house, he was afraid that he's going to feed him a lot, so therefore he said this lashon that he should bizarres him, that he should stop pestering him to come to his house. He said, you know what, I'm not even going to touch a drop of water, not even one drop. But over here, hacha, by in case of meichel lekech, you can't say as far as sveikahu. So over here it's like a suffix, because maybe pachas misela, doma pachas misela, v'yoyser al shekel ka'amar, and he took a man to a little bit more than a shekel. V'zeruzin have it, and maybe he was just taka trying to push him. Or doma dafka ka'amar, maybe no. When the Moicher said Sela, he meant Dafka Sela, V'nidra Havi. In that case, it's going to be a nether, since they one said a Sela, one said a Shekel, and they were so far off from each other. So the Gemara Tiboy, it's going to be Taka have a short. Good question. Yeah, it's going to stay out of suffix, this question. So we don't know, is that going to be in the Dezruzin when there's a big gap between the Lekech Taina and the Moichs Taina, or is that going to be a regular neder? So Gemara is left with a suffix. Amar Yehuda Rav Asi. Who just says the name Rav Asi? Says Rav Asi. Abanadar Malo. These 4 Nedarim in the Mishnah that were matter. Tzrichim she'el chacham. He's saying they're not mutter by themselves. Rather, they need she'el chacham. You have to go to a chacham. You have to matter. Kariz a condition. Kariz the Shmuel. Who just saying when I said this in front of Shmuel, this memra. Amar Tana Tani Abanadar Mitir Chacham. He's saying Tana said that the 4 Nedarim, the Chacham matter. It's mashma that you do not have to go to Chacham. Ba'at Amre is Tzrichim she'ela the Chacham, and you're saying you have to take him to the Chacham and matter. It's not mashma like that. The lashon in the Mishnah. Rav Yosef Masalah Hashmaiter. Rav Yosef, so you slug that up right away. Rav Yosef said that no, this that Rav Yehuda just said that you need Hashem Chacham. He learned Masalah Hashmaiter b'Haylishna. He learned this thing like this. Amar Rav Yehuda Marvasi. Ein Chacham Hashem Lahatir Ella Keina Banadam. Chacham is only allowed to be matter Nedarim only similar to these Abanadarim. Meaning what? Meaning, the method that a Chacham is allowed to matter Neder is only al yidei Pesach. You have an opening, you say, you did not mean to do it. The only reason why you're saying it is similar to like the Nedarim that you only meant to be Mizar. I mean, you would not have done it if you would have known this. That's what. That's how he touches up this memra. Kasavar. What's he trying to say? That you're not going to be Pesach b'charata. You're not going to just say, okay, he regretted his neder, so could you be mater chacham? No, that's not how it works. You got to find a Pesach and say that had he known that this would have been the result, he would have not done it, and he only did it because he thought like this, and whatever. Okay. Sagt the Gemara weiter. The Gemara is going to bring that Rav Huna argues on this halacha of Rav Asi that he just said. Hawud asla kamed Rav Huna. There was a story that a person came in front of Rav Huna that he should matter his neder. Amar le libach alach. So Rav Huna asked him, libach alach, is your heart still, is your will in your heart still that same, whatever you assume, b'shasi made the neder? Meaning, do you still want the neder that you made? And just from here on, you don't want the neder to be chal? Or do you have charat l'mafreya on when you made a neder? You never wanted to do l'mafreya. Amar le. So the noider told him, the noider told him, the one that made the neder, loi. He said, no, I regret it l'mafreya. I never wanted to do this. The shari of Huna was matter the neder. So what do you see from this? You see that Huna held Pesach Mecharata. You could because matter chacham with a Pesach, and it could be with just plain regret, because you see the guy regretted it l'mafreya. Hahudas l'kamed bar. So you see that he argues on Rav Asi. Hahudas l'kamed Rav bar Huna. Somebody came in front of Rav Huna that should matter his neder. Amalei. So Rav Huna asked him, there would have been 10 people around that time when you were making this neder that you want to be mater now. Would you have made a neder? Amalei, the neder told him, loy. If you would have been pious, I would have not made the neder, but he tiroi. And he was mater it. Why? Because the Gemara is assuming that that's considered charata. So the Ran actually explains that this is the Gemara is bringing this from Rav Huna the Gemara is calling it is a charata, but it's better than a regular charata. A regular charata, a guy just says, I regret it. I'm afraid I never wanted to do this. It's just, I wish it never happened. Whereas this charata, the guy's saying, if there would have been 10 people to appease you, would have you changed your mind? So it's really a clearer charata. However, Zaktaran, it's not mamish like a Pesach that is happening. It's not mamish like a Torah. That's all you do Pesach, because by a Pesach you're saying a real reason why you're really giving a really good reason why the neder should have not been chal. So it's kind of in between a standard charata and a Pesach. So Gemara Vayter, Tanya, we learned in a brisa. We see in this brisa that there's already a machlokes tanam if you could be pesach b'charata. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Oimrim Loila Adam. We tell a person who's coming about his neder leivza alecha. Do you have it in your heart now, like you were thinking b'shas you made the neder, and your charata is only mikana lahaba from here on? And Amar Lav, it says that I'm not, my heart's not on it, and I have charata, I regret it. L'mafreya matirin, I say. That's like Rav Huna. Rabbi Shmuel Riyasa says, V'shem avim, Omer Le'ladam, we tell a person that's coming to Matan Neder, Ilu Hoyasar B'nei Anu Shvai Such V'Yis Hashem Nedarta. What do you mean made the neder? If 10 people were there, would convince you otherwise. If Amar Lav says no, then you matter, and that's like the shita of Rabbi Rav Huna. It says we don't just give a Pesach with a regular charata. It has to be a charata brura, which is something a little bit better. It's a higher level. Zok Tehillah Gemara Vayter. Simin Asi Velazar Yochanan Viyanai. The Gemara is going to bring a few different stories here. This person came in front of Rav Asi to matter his neder. Amar le, Rav Asi told him, Kadu Tohis. Are you in regret now on the neder that you made? Amar le, the noider told him, Loi, of course I regret it. The Shari and Rav Asi was matter him, since he holds, Rav Asi held, that you are allowed to be matter and neder b'charata, with regular regret, standard charata. Hahud also like Rav Elazar, we have a ma'aser, somebody came in front of Elazar, to matter and neder. Amar le, Rav Elazar told him, Ba'is nidar. Do you want him kind of mivafli another own from here on? Or did you have charata on the neder meikar l'mafreya? Amar loy, the noider told him, the person made the neder, ilu loy margazin li loy bi'inan klum. If they would have not upset me at the time of the neder, I would have never made a neder. I only did it because somebody made me upset. Amar le, so Rabbi Elazar told him, tehei kivois, it should be like your will. In other words, the neder is mutter, since he held also paischem acharata. A third baisa, hayitza da'adarti lebrata. There was a maisa with a woman that she asked herself an anah from a daughter, she won't have anah. And after some time, Asala came to Rabbi Yochanan, she came to Rabbi Yochanan to matter the neder. Amar la, he told her, if you would have known that your neighbors are saying about your daughter, ilulay chamas ba'ima milan da'aziva, that the neighbors are saying now that her mother only made these nedarim on her and aser her ba'ana because she saw bad things in her, and they started spreading rumors about her. So b'chti lo yadarta, would have you not made this neder if had you known this, had you been able to foresee this? Miyadarta, what have you made the neder? Amar lei, so this lady told him, loi, v'sharian is matir the neder, and you see from this also, Rabbi Yochanan holds, poischem b'charata, that you're allowed to be poiseach b'charata. So these are the 4 stories. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 stories. Here's the 4th story. Bar Barate de Rabbi Yanai Sava. Barbrati de Rabbi Yanai Sava. The son of the daughter of Rabbi Yanai, Asla Kamei, Rabbi Yanai Sava, came to his grandfather, to Mater Neder. Amar Rabbi Yanai Sava told him, Ila Haviyadas, if you would have known the Paschim Pinkasachim Mashmishim Bayvadach, that in Shamayim they're opening up the booklet that says all your actions, everything you did, and they're going to inspect your ways if they're good. So what have you made this nether? Amar Leiloi, he said, no, I would have never done it. Shari is matter. So Vaiti Rabbi holds that if somebody just has charata, you can matter a nether and it's enough. Amar Rababa, Mikra, what's the makar for this? Rabbi Yanai says Pesach b'charata, or rather, that's not what the Gemara is asking. Gemara wants to know what's the pasuk that we learn out that the pinkasai of a noider gets open shamayim when he makes a nether. Shenemar, it says in the pasuk, Ma'ikra v'achar dvon nedarim levaker mishli parachav pasuk chav hey. It says v'achar nedarim levaker. After one makes a nether, he gets inspected. Then he inspects his actions. So from this pasuk you see, after one makes a nether, it's not a pashazach. His ma'asim and shamayim get inspected.